story, Idga. Okay, so picture this. It's the festival of Eid. The air is absolutely buzzing with excitement. For most kids, this day is all about new clothes, amazing sweets, and maybe, just maybe, getting that toy they've been dreaming of. But for our main character, a little boy named Hamid, who doesn't have much at all, his few coins present a totally different and much tougher choice. So, who was the brilliant mind behind such a powerful story? I mean, who could so perfectly capture the heart of a child who's dealing with some very grown-up problems? Well, meet Prem Chand. He was born Dhanpat Rai, and he is an absolute giant in Hindi literature. But he wasn't just a storyteller. He was more like a social commentator who held up a big mirror to the society he was living in. And what's so fascinating about Prem Chand is that he had a mission. He wasn't just writing for entertainment's sake. No, he saw literature as this incredibly powerful tool for social change. He literally gave a voice to people who didn't have one. The farmers, the lower castes, women. And he just masterfully painted this picture of the struggles of everyday rural life in India. All right, so let's dive back into the world that Prem Chand created in Idga. It all kicks off on the morning of the Eid festival. In this little village, everybody is just humming with excitement about heading to the fair, the Eidgah. But for our 4-year-old Hamid and his grandmother, Amina, things are different. They're very poor. He doesn't have parents, and she is his entire world. And while the other kids have their dads to take them, Hamid's got to go with his friends. You can just imagine his grandmother's heart aching, right? She's so worried about him going to this crowded fair all by himself. But Hamid, with this incredible maturity for a little kid, just turns to her and says this. He can sense her fear, and he's trying his best to be the man of the house. Now, the journey to the fair is an adventure in itself. The village boys are just sprinting ahead of the grown-ups, and the story says their feet felt like they'd grown wings. For them, the city is this whole other universe, full of huge buildings, amazing gardens, and stuff they've only ever dreamed of. You can just hear the magic and the complete innocence in their chat as they pass by these sweet shops piled high with treats. Their world is a place where, supernatural genies or djinns might totally swoop in and buy the entire shop. It's just a world of pure, unfiltered wonder. But then that innocence gets mixed with this cynical wisdom they've picked up from the adults. Here, one of Hamid's friends is explaining how the world really works. They see the corruption around them, but they explain it through this simple moral lens. That God will sort it out. It's such a classic Prem Chand touch, showing how the problems of society trickle all the way down to its kids. And now we're at the heart of the story. The fair is just this explosion for the senses. Toys, rides, sweets everywhere. Hamid's friends, well, they don't hesitate. They eagerly spend their coins on these fleeting little joys. But Hamid, he just hangs back. Watching, thinking. And here it is, the big contrast. His friends buy these little clay toys, things that represent jobs like a water carrier or a lawyer. They're enjoying sweets. Their choices are impulsive, they're joyful, and they're totally what you'd expect from a kid. And Hamid's choice? A simple, very practical pair of tongs. A chimta. Yeah, a pair of iron tongs. The kind you'd use to flip bread on a fire. Can you even imagine? A child at a fair, surrounded by every possible toy and treat, and he chooses this. It just doesn't make sense, right? So this is Hamid's explanation to his friends, who are, of course, making fun of him. He points out the biggest flaw in their awesome new toys, their fragility. But the story also makes a point to tell us that he's looking at their toys with longing eyes. Deep down, he's still just a kid. But there's another thought, another memory, that's overriding everything else. So what on earth is that overpowering thought? Well, this brings us to the beautiful, absolutely heart-wrenching reason behind his choice. Because let's be real, this isn't just about a pair of tongs. And this is where we really see Prem Chand's genius shine. Hamid bought the tongs because he remembered his grandmother burning her fingers every single day while making bread for him. In that one moment, his love for her was stronger than any childish desire he had. The story shows us how hardship can create this incredible empathy and wisdom. The tongs, a simple tool of labor, become this powerful symbol of love and sacrifice. It's just a perfect snapshot of life, where the deepest feelings are found in the simplest things. When Hamid finally gives the tongs to his grandmother, she's angry at first, scolding him for not buying himself a treat. but then she just breaks down in tears, completely overwhelmed by his selfless act of love. So it kind of leaves us with this thought. What really gives something its value? Is it the price tag?